to the fire and watched it right away. On that note, someone we also respect. Damian Woody in the house. Has been too long. How are we doing?
I'm good. I'm good. What's good on the set?
Where have you been?
The weather's nice.
I've been here. Y'all been chilling or something. Traveling, doing whatever. I thought y'all was scared to see me.
No.
Never that.
Okay, all right.
They're just making moves, working other jobs.
I don't know why the hell you always thinking somebody's
Man, get off your phone, man. When I'm on the set, man, you address me.
First of all, watch your tone. First of all, watch your tone. And secondly, and more importantly, big boy, it's not like we got to literally go up against you like we defensive linemen. This is TV. I ain't got no reason to be scared of you on TV.
It's still a battle.
It is still a battle. It is
interesting.
When I'm
Don't you get
I'm
tired of
looking to
losing to
destroy
me?
you when I'm on
Don't you
here.
get tired of losing me? What, man? Watch your tone. Watch your tone, man.
It is interesting that Stephen A., he brings up a valid point. You never seem to be in studio when he's sitting there. I'm always looking at you on a TV screen when he's sitting there. And then you're always talking about how you're not scared of him.
Because, Max, that's because some of us have jobs other than 10 o'clock in the morning. You see what I'm saying? We don't get to just fly to Vegas, once a month. I'm telling you right now, I'm hoping. You know what I'm hoping for, Molly? I'm hoping that I'm hoping that HBO is going to send Max on an assignment in Istanbul. When they got to fight there or something. I'm wishing that on them just for that.
Salty about the good locations. Yep.
All right, let's get into it, Max. I'll start with you. How should this Super Bowl loss impact how we view Matt Ryan?
I got to say, I hate to say this, a bit diminished. I think Matt Ryan's a bit diminished in my eyes, and I will tell you why. There's a specific reason here. He's excellent, and he had a tremendous season, and in the Super Bowl in the first half, he was very good. A great quarterback, and I think this goes for a great athlete in any sport, but especially a quarterback, because you're the leader of that team in the offense, in a Super Bowl in particular, is not an automaton. They're not a robot who's simply getting instructions from the sideline and carrying it out no matter what. It's the way you want a great racehorse champing at the bit, right? They're not just docile. They want to impose themselves. And when things weren't going right, and they're calling passing plays from the sidelines, and everyone with a passing familiarity with football knows you run the ball here. You're already in field goal range. You run the ball twice, you're not going to lose any yards. Even if you lost a yard or two, you're likely to kick a field goal and win the game. It's a two-score game. Game's over. For him to just kind of accept the calls from the sidelines and not essentially audible and say no, impose himself, be willful about it. Hard for me to imagine Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or Brett Favre or any one of those guys getting a call from the sidelines that they think is foolish in that moment, because they were foolish calls. Play calling was idiotic. People talk about Marshawn Lynch all they want. Stephen A., you say it's the worst call ever. I actually think this was worse. You're already in field goal range. You have 2 plays to run the ball. You probably pick up 3 or 4 yards or maybe more. But even if you don't do anything, you're probably going to win the game. To go to passing plays in that situation and have the quarterback just accept it, you have to be more willful in that situation. That's a leader. I think the great quarterbacks that you can think about, Bradshaw, anyone, the leaders say, we're running the ball. And the Falcons win that game. And for that reason, I didn't see the requisite leadership in the moment of truth from Matt Ryan. And so, to me, he's a little bit diminished.
But, Max, then he's not betting on himself if he thinks I can't pass it and we got to run it off.
Listen, if I've won the game, I'll bet on whoever you want. You can bet on whatever. We ain't betting on yourself. The game's won. Just give the ball to the running back. Do it twice, you win.
I'm saying that he could execute the play. Stephen A.?
I agree with Max. I don't have anything to add because that's really what this comes down to me. Matt Ryan was 17 of 23, 2 touchdowns, 284 yards. You get within field goal range. It's not about your skill set at that particular moment in time, even though you gave up a 28-3 lead. It's really about your leadership. The game is in hand. The offensive coordinator, Shanahan, along with your head coach, Quinn, may make a call, but you, Matt Ryan, Matty Ice, you've earned the cachet to say to them, guys, what are we doing here? All we need is a field goal, and we've locked up a Super Bowl championship. And to be silent in that particular moment, to not step up and step forward, and not just use your football acumen, but overall common sense and your cachet as a star quarterback, who, by the way, was the MVP candidate for this franchise and a league MVP candidate. How do you not step up and speak up and say, whoa, this is a bad, bad move. We should not be doing this. Leaders do that in moments, in pivotal moments like that. I thought he was very, very silent and muted. And as a result, it just it reminded me as to why, as gifted as he is of a quarterback and as likable as he is as a person, it reminded me why he's not spoken of as a first-tier guy along the lines of the Drew Bledsoes and Tom Brady's and Aaron Rodgers and others. Something about him shrunk in that moment as well, and he had everything to do with them losing the Super Bowl championship as much as Coach Quinn and Shanahan, because he's Matty Ice. He had the cachet to help them make a different decision, and he didn't exercise it.
Well, I would say this about Matt Ryan. He's not the Mariano Rivera. You know, we all know equate Mariano Rivera coming out of the bullpen and closing that bad boy out. That's the biggest thing that I took away from the Super Bowl is the fact that you're up 25. So think about how many plays the Patriots, how many things have to go right the Patriots' way for you to crawl back into that thing, and how many plays that you didn't execute if you're Matt Ryan to really stay one step ahead of the Patriots. To me, that's the biggest thing. We can talk about play call. Listen, was the offensive coordinator at fault? Yes. Head coach? Yes. Defense? Everybody played a part in the collapse. But as a quarterback, as the MVP of the National Football League, in moments where the Patriots are coming back, every single play counts. And where he messed up, he didn't execute on those plays that counted the most. If you want to be considered the elite of the elite, and he had an elite season, there's no question about that. You cannot take that away from Matt Ryan. But if you want to be on that next level, that next caliber of quarterback, you know, the Drew Brees, the Tom Brady, you guys have named them, you have to execute in those situations, and that's where Matt Ryan falls short.
Why do you think he doesn't?
Well, I still think for Matt Ryan, this is still a learning curve for him. Remember, we were talking about in the playoffs, he hadn't broken through that glass ceiling of getting past the NFC Championship game. He had been knocking on the door, but he had never gotten past that. This past season, he got past that. So I think this is another learning experience for him. But if he wants to be the quarterback on the level of those guys that we've named, then he has to execute in those situations better.
But Damian, to Max's earlier point, was that his call? Should he have said, no, hand it off, I don't want to throw?
Well, the thing I disagree with Max is, like, you know, there's an operation that goes on here. It's not like quarterbacks can just go willy-nilly. I know we see all the time with Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning,
but those are unique
for most of his career, he was the offense. He ran the whole show. A lot of quarterbacks in this league, offensive coordinator makes the call, you go out there and run the play. He might give you a couple options within a play, but for the most part, if he makes a call, it's your job to go out there and execute the play. So I'm not going to put that on Matt Ryan and just go, I'm going to scrap everything and I'm just going to scrap everything and I'm going to run this play. Because listen, Kyle Shanahan all season was brilliant. Yeah. Brilliant all season. He came up small in the Super Bowl in that moment.
Game's over if you run the ball twice. You win.
Oh, absolutely.
Stephen A.
Let me ask y'all this. Damian, explain something to me. You say that the coach makes the call, you execute it. There's a Super Bowl title on the line. All you need is a field goal to secure the deal. We are talking about Matt Ryan. He's been in the league 9 years. He's completed 65% of his passes. He's passed for over 37,000 yards. He's got an 85-57 regular season record. In 6 of his 9 years, he's had a winning record. This dude has been to a couple, if not a few, NFC championship games. You don't have the cachet at that moment to sit up there and say, damn it, run the damn football. Let's not throw the football. Let's make sure that we hold on to this and secure so we can kick a field goal and go home. He doesn't have the cachet to do that?
No, let me clarify myself here. What I was speaking of was when on the field. Now, it's a different story off the field. That's where Matt Ryan could have flexed his muscle off when he's on the sideline telling coach, look, play the situation out. I know you're an aggressive offensive coordinator and you like to throw the ball all over the place. But listen,
what about the equipment,
we need to play the situation out, run the football. That's where he could have flexed his muscle.
But I'm confused. I'm confused because what I'm saying is I thought that a quarterback is in the game and you're literally getting signals in the headset and beyond while you're on the field half the time. Yeah, you're going to go, of course, when you go to the sidelines when the offense comes off the field. But what I'm talking about, you're also getting calls while you're on the field, right?
Yeah,
you can't sit up there in that particular moment and say no.
Yeah, but that one should have. And listen,
that's what I'm saying.
The
that
point
one
is,
should have.
given what was at stake, to hell with the way everyone normally does things. A great quarterback and leader in that moment does what he has to do to win the game. And you run that ball. You audible, let them chew you out afterwards. You win the game, you run the ball. We're not having this conversation.
I'm glad you got it like that. Where you just like, I'm going to run the show this way.
Exactly.
Sometimes it doesn't work that way.
Yes, sometimes you got to follow the rules. So we will leave it there. Thank you so much for being with us. Appreciate you. Your day just getting started. We'll see you a little later, all over ESPN. Coming up, Myles Garrett was expected to be the #1 pick in the draft, but there is a new name in the mix. We'll tell you who that is after the break. Also, Tony Kornheiser makes a case for why voting for the MVP should be extended till after the first round of the playoffs. We'll get into that.
I think of him as a souped-up Frank Gore.
What?
Yeah, Frank
Adrian
Gore.
Peterson?
At this point,
souped-up Frank, you should be ashamed. I swear I'd throw this tea on you if I could.
You're gonna have to explain yourself to Frank Gore. You act like he's a bum.
That's a disgrace.